A very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor and let us start the bulletin with the top headlines. India doesn't want war but will not be a silent spectator to Pakistan continuing to sponsor terror. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu tells Indian diaspora in Paraguay. Both India and Paraguay reiterate commitment to fight terrorism. Target civilians face dire consequences. Indian Army tells Pakistan. Warning comes in the wake of Pakistani Army targeting civilian areas along the line of control. Indian Army highlights use of fake accounts and misinformation on social media, underscores need to be alert against the false propaganda, lies and deception on terror. Parliamentary Standing Committee asks the social media platforms to tackle fake news, increase communication with Election Commission. Facebook admits for a need to corrective measures, says will provide information on identity and location of political advertisers. And government takes a big step in tackling plastic waste, bans import of solid plastic waste or scrap into the country. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu underscored the Indian diaspora in Paraguay's capital and he lauded the Indian community for making a mark for itself with hard work, discipline and their contributions to both India and Paraguay. Interacting with the Indian community settled in Paraguay, he appreciated their role in extending India's outreach in the region. The Vice President opined that the community plays an important role in spreading the message of India. It's a growth story and the reforms undertaken by the government. Referring to the recent Pulwama attack, Venkaiah Naidu said that India wants to have good relations with all its neighbours, but Pakistan has made terrorism a state policy. Talking about India-Paraguay relations and the need to strengthen cooperation in various sectors, Venkaiah Naidu stressed that both the nations, with their diverse strength, could reap a benefit from each other. And talking about the reforms undertaken by India to improve the ease of doing business and its policies to have inclusive growth, Venkaiah Naidu said that the whole world was looking to invest in India.
We want to have good relations, including with all our neighbors, because late Prime Minister Vajpayee said, you can change your friends, but you can't change your neighbor. Keeping that in mind, we are trying our best. But one of our neighbor has made terrorism as a state policy. They are aiding, abetting, funding, training terrorists continuously. Time and again, they have been persuaded, they make public commitments, but they never stop funding terrorism. Terrorism is the enemy of humanity. And as far as terror is concerned, I am happy. They said unequivocally that they stand on the same page as far as the terror is concerned. Because terror is an enemy of humanity. It has no religion. It's mad and bad. So it should be eliminated from the globe. That is possible only when the entire international community come together. We don't want any country's support for us to fight terror in India. We are capable. We have shown our capacity recently. You have seen on February 14th when they attacked the CRPF personnel and killed 40 people in a most dastardly attack. The country was enraged and the response was given quietly. Our Indian Air Force have not attacked militarily Pakistan, did not harm a single citizen, innocent citizen. They went and precisely hit the target of terrorists where this Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is an organization proscribed by the United Nations, they had a training camp and then they were living in a palatial building. Our Air Force have identified that through intelligence and reached there and within 21 minutes destroyed their camps and came back. It's not a military attack. We don't want war. But at the same time, we can't be silent spectators to this nonsense that has been going on forever. Kashmir is an integral part of India. There is no question of any concession as far as that issue is concerned. you will be happy to know that many of the sectors were opened for foreign direct investment, and India attracted $38 billion of FDI flows in 2018 and managed to take it up to the top 10 host economies receiving the most FDI during the period. That is uniform tax across the country, one nation, one tax. That is the ultimate aim. Now we have 3 slabs. Our ultimate aim is to have one system so that there is no check post, there is no delay, there is no wastage of time and money. All these things are being taken care. That's why the world is very much impressed. As I told you, the startups, the innovation, incubation, this is the new order. And the government also is funding the unfunded, reaching the unreached, recognizing the unrecognized. As far as the government of India is concerned, that Pravasa Bharatiya Kendra has been created in New Delhi as a one-stop resource center for our diaspora. Our embassies are available around the clock to our people in need. The Overseas Citizenship of India scheme, OCI, has been simplified to allow more and more persons of Indian origin to connect with the land of their ancestors. We also want you, young ones, to connect with India and youth in India. We run a special program, the Know India program, to bring our diaspora youth together. There is a massive telecom expansion. More than 110 crore telephone connections are there, largest network. And as far as this transformation that is happening, you will find in the coming years the massive benefits accruing to the people and the country becoming a developed country. And the Prime Minister feels that the development should reach the common people, the suppressed, oppressed and depressed classes, the poorest of the poor. They are the priority for the government. And also bridging the urban-rural divide, that also is a priority area, taking care of the agriculture, which is under stress. Agriculture is our basic culture.
And earlier on Wednesday, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu held delegation-level talks with the Paraguayan President Mario Abdo Benitez. The two sides held wide-ranging talks on strengthening bilateral ties between India and the Latin American country. They agreed to explore new areas of collaboration such as hydel and solar energy, health, traditional medicine, information and communication technology, farming, agriculture machinery and biotechnology. President Abdo Benitez and Vice President Naidu expressed concern over the global menace of terrorism and condemning the 14th of February Pulwama terror attack. The Vice President stressed on the need of an urgent adoption of the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism. The Paraguayan President said that his country stands with India in its fight against terror. President Abdo Benitez also reiterated his country's support to India's candidature for a permanent membership at the United Nations Security Council. On to some other news, the Indian Army issued a stern warning to Pakistan against targeting civilians along the line of control. In a statement on Wednesday, the Indian Army said that it is maintaining a strict vigil and if any further provocation or misadventure by Pakistan will have dire consequences. The Army said that it is committed to avoiding civilian casualties, especially along the line of control. Indian Army's warning came after Pakistani Army resorted to intense and unprovoked firing with heavy caliber weapons along the line of control in Krishna Ghati and Sundarbani on Wednesday, targeting Indian posts and civilian areas. Pakistan also targeted areas in the Nowshera sector in Rajouri. The Indian Army retaliated strongly and effectively to the Pakistan firing, and there were no reports of any casualty on the Indian side, though some structures, including some residential houses and cow sheds, were damaged. Meanwhile, a gun battle between the security forces and terrorists is currently going on in Handwara in Jammu and Kashmir. A terrorist has been killed in the encounter in Kralgond in Handwara. Security forces are continuing the search operation in the area. And the Defence Ministry on Wednesday said that the misinformation on the details of the shooting of Pakistani Air Force F-16 by MiG-21 Bison are being spread on various social media sites. In a press statement, Defence Ministry said that Indian Air Force had clarified that one F-16 of the Pakistan Air Force was shot by MiG-21 Bison and it fell across the line of control. Clarifying on the mushrooming of fake accounts, the statement said that Wing Commander Abhinandan does not have any official social media account on Twitter and Instagram, and it advised all not to follow these accounts as they may contain malware. France will push to designate Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar as a global terrorist with its newly acquired presidency of the United Nations Security Council amidst mounting pressure on Pakistan to act against terror outfits breeding in the country. Speaking exclusively to a news agency, Ambassador of France to India said that France also has been affected badly by terrorism in the recent past and added that not designating Masood does not make any sense. While reacting on the preemptive airstrikes conducted by the Indian Air Force, he said that France recognizes the legitimacy of India to ensure its security against cross-border terror. On to some other news. The Union Cabinet is all set to hold its last Cabinet meeting before the general elections. Chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Cabinet is likely to take up an ordinance on the reservation mechanism for university teachers. The ordinance was sent by the HRD Ministry to the Cabinet for approval. The HRD Minister said on Tuesday that the centre was committed to restore reservation roster in educational institutions. Various students and teachers' organizations have been urging the government to restore the previous 200-point roster system, taking a college or university as a unit for reservation in teaching positions. The Union Cabinet is also expected to take up approval of the proposed Delhi Metro Phase 4 on Thursday. In December last year, the AAP government had approved Phase 4 of the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation with some conditions, including 50% operational loss sharing. However, the Union Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry had objected to some of the conditions imposed by Aam Aadmi Party government. Jan Aushadhi Divas is being celebrated across the country today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is slated to address 5,000 Jan Aushadhi stores across the country through video conferencing. Prime Minister Modi will also interact with the owners of Jan Aushadhi Kendras and beneficiaries of the scheme. Minister of State for Chemicals and Fertilizers, Mansukh Manviya, said that the Jan Aushadhi Kendras are providing quality medicine at affordable price. He said that the government's aim is to open Jan Aushadhi Kendras at block level as well by 2020. The minister said that 10 to 15 lakh beneficiaries are getting medicines from Jan Aushadhi stores every day. And Home Minister Rajnath Singh will inaugurate and lay the foundation stones for national highway projects worth over 1 lakh crore rupees in Lucknow today. The Home Minister will also inaugurate and lay foundation stone for several works under Namami Gange program worth over 1,969 crore rupees. The national highways to be inaugurated include the 4-laning of Lucknow-Sultanpur section, 4-laning of Kursi Road, Ayodhya Road section of Lucknow Ring Road, and 4-laning of Ghagra Bridge to Budhanpur section on NH 233. The Home Minister will also lay the foundation stone for the construction of Lucknow-Kanpur Expressway. Several projects under Namami Gange program, including laying off a sewerage network of over 214 kilometers in Prayagraj at a cost of over 260 crore rupees, will also be inaugurated. On to some other news. A parliamentary panel on Wednesday questioned social media giant Facebook over its alleged inability to prevent the misuse of its platform during elections. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on IT, headed by BJP MP Anurag Thakur, posed questions to Joel Kaplan, Vice President Global Public Policy of Facebook. The 31-member panel met to hear the views of the representatives of Facebook and its affiliates, WhatsApp and Instagram, on safeguarding citizens' right on social or online news media platforms. Now, Facebook gave a commitment to the committee that the identity, location and who paid for the advertisements will be available on a special web page for users. Thakur questioned the Facebook representative over insensitive tweets as well as public comments by Facebook employees, to which Joel Kaplan apologized. The panel also asked Facebook to respond to concerns raised in writing. In Breakfast News, time for a very short break. Stay tuned for more news and updates on the other side.
Located in Old Goa, the Basilica of Bom Jesus is one of the oldest churches in the state. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Basilica holds the mortal remains of Saint Francis Xavier, a 16th century missionary and a pivotal figure in the spread of Christianity outside Europe. Bom Jesus, literally meaning good or holy Jesus, is a term often used in the countries of Portuguese colonization. The construction work on the church began in 1594 and it was consecrated in May 1605. One of the oldest churches in Goa and in India has a marble floor inlaid with precious stones and the main altar holding a large statue of Saint Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of Society of Jesus. Styled in Baroque and adorned with the figures of Christ and his apostles at the Last Supper, the altar table is used in Holy Mass. Nestled in the heart of Goa, the place is thronged by hundreds of tourists every day and is also a symbol of India's composite and secular identity.
Welcome back after the break. Now, to tackle the menace of plastic waste, the government has put a complete ban on the import of a solid plastic waste or scrap into the country. The Environment Ministry said that the country has completely prohibited the import of a solid plastic waste by amending the hazardous waste rules on 1st of March. The ministry said that the rules were amended keeping in mind the huge gap between waste generation and the recycling capacity. Earlier, such import was partly banned as India did not prohibit it in special economic zones and export-oriented units, which used to procure it from abroad as post-recycling resources. Now, since there is no adequate capacity of recycling of plastic waste in the country, a huge quantity of such hazardous waste will remain uncollected, causing substantial damage to soil and water bodies. Now, according to a study conducted by the Central Pollution Control Board, a total of 10,376 tons out of 25,940 tons of plastic waste per day remain uncollected in the country. And the centre told the Supreme Court on Wednesday that papers related to the RAFALE aircraft deal have been stolen from the Defence Ministry. Referring to a report published in a newspaper regarding the RAFALE deal, Attorney General K.K. Venugopal said that those who put documents on the RAFALE deal in public domain are guilty under the Official Secrets Act and contempt of court. Venugopal said that an investigation on the theft was going on. The Supreme Court bench was hearing a batch of petitions seeking a review of its 14th of December verdict, dismissing all pleas against the deal procured by India from France. And the next hearing in the matter will be on 14th of March. closer towards sustainable development goals, the NITI Aayog awarded 18 aspirational districts for performing well on the SDG parameters. Assam's Hailakandi and Jharkhand's Kondagaon district topped in the rankings of aspirational districts for the December to January period of 2018-19. Now, 3 districts of Jharkhand, namely Chhatra, Sahibganj and Hazaribagh, topped the rankings in the health and nutrition parameters. Sahibganj and Chhatra, along with the Sonbhadra in Uttar Pradesh, also emerged as top 3 ranking districts on education parameter. The Delta rankings measures the incremental progress made by 112 aspirational districts across 6 development areas, including agriculture and water resources, financial inclusion, skill development and basic infrastructure.
जो सबसे अच्छी डिस्ट्रिक्ट आई है उसको और जो दूसरी बेस्ट डिस्ट्रिक्ट आई है और 5 क्षेत्रों में जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट आई है उसको हम सबको चैलेंज रूट पे सेलेक्ट करते हैं और चैलेंज रूट होता है जिसमें सारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स आपस में compete कर रहे हैं और उनको आज हम लोगों ने अवार्ड किया है। तो सारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में बहुत बदलाव आया है और बहुत ही क्रांति आई है इन डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में। हर क्षेत्र में ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स आगे बढ़े हैं।
The Ministry of External Affairs on Wednesday said that the first meeting between the officials of India and Pakistan to finalize the modalities for Kartarpur corridor would be held at the Atari Wagah on 14th of March. The MEA added that the meeting will be held on the Indian side of the border. The announcement came a day after Pakistan said that it would send a delegation to India to discuss a draft agreement for setting up of the corridor to facilitate a visa-free visit of Sikh pilgrims to Gurudwara Kartarpur Sahib. It said that the meeting is being held in keeping with the government's decision to operationalize the Kartarpur corridor on the occasion of the 550th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak and meet the long-pending public demand to have easy and smooth access to the Gurudwara. A high-powered advisory panel formed by the government has identified 9 national missions, including the applications of artificial intelligence to address major scientific challenges to ensure India's sustainable development. Now, these new programs are being implemented to build on the country's rich cultural and traditional practices and to position India as a pioneer in cutting-edge areas of science and technology. Here are the details.
As part of an exercise to leverage scientific research for societal benefits, the Prime Minister's Science, Technology and Innovation Council has announced 9 mission mode projects in areas ranging from biodiversity to artificial intelligence. Addressing the event, Principal Scientific Advisor Professor K. Vijay Raghavan informed that the Council will work on identifying solutions for problems through technology and innovation.
Remember that all these missions came about over the last 3 years of the group of scientific secretaries working together and seeing what is important. So the PSA's office is now only the next step in that process. So the ministries are very important, very enthusiastic. We have also taken up multiple missions ranging from deep ocean, from artificial intelligence, to natural language translation, health, agriculture, biodiversity and so on.
The 9 missions announced by the Principal Scientific Advisor are Natural Language Translation, Quantum Frontier, Artificial Intelligence, National Biodiversity Mission, Electric Vehicles, Bioscience for Human Health, Waste to Wealth, Deep Ocean and Agni, accelerating growth for New India's innovations. Each mission will be led by a ministry and will engage with international and national institutional partners.
Ayushman Bharat mission, as also in general, health delivery, needs to be based on evidence. That evidence currently is based on patients going to hospitals, and better understanding of the patient's history will only help that decision. So the Bioscience for Human Health mission, which will have a major genomics component, will help get data which will allow a patient to get better advice because the technologies to track that person's health history will be available to that patient, and that patient's information can be used in decision making.
Through these missions, the Council aims to facilitate the process of collaboration and focus needed to solve complex problems in a reasonable time frame. The Council is also working towards enabling access to teaching and researching materials in different areas of science and technology in different Indian languages through a combination of machine and human translation. Aruna Thakur's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And all the sporting action now. Ace Indian shuttler Kidambi Srikanth and Saina Nehwal have advanced to the second round of All England Open 2019. In the men's singles, Srikanth defeated his French rival Brice Leverdres 21-13, 21-11 in straight games. He will next face Jonathan Christie of Indonesia today in the second round. And in the women's singles, Saina Nehwal defeated Kirsty Gilmore of Scotland 21-17, 21-18 to move to the next round. She will face her Danish rival Line in today. While in the other women's singles, PV Sindhu crashed out of the tournament. PV Sindhu was knocked out in the first round after she lost to unseeded Soom Ji-hyun of South Korea. And that is the wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day ahead.